This is the latest news now you are going to watch. I still remember when I'm only Onyame, an Hollywood actor and your top content creator. Don't forget. I beg, make this video go viral so that many will not fall victim.
I told you, at the same time, Nigerian courts are blocking human rights observers like Omoyele Sowore from entering Nnamdi Kanu's courtroom, citing space issues. On the exact day the world is watching. This is not just a coincidence. This is a coordinated storm. From Finland to Nigeria, it looks like the noose is tightening on the two most controversial voices behind the Biafran movement. But there's more. A US-based professor just reignited Nnamdi Kanu's boldest claim, that Muhammadu Buhari died in 2017 and was replaced by a body double. Now, even his divorce with Aisha Buhari has surfaced as evidence. And just when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, the United States of Biafra is issuing passports, while cultural tension erupts in Ghana over an Igbo king. This is not just news. This is the battle for identity, power, and truth. Stay with us, because what happens next could change everything. The Pihajoki District Court in Finland has quietly added a new charge against Simon Ekpa for violating the Lawyers Act, accusing him of acting as a legal advisor without proper qualifications during his time at his ex-wife Marian Sakajavi's law firm. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, the Federal High Court in Abuja officially barred Nigerian activist Omoyele Sowore and some of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers from attending the July 18, 2025 court session, citing space constraints, a move widely criticized as an attempt to suppress media attention and legal support. Nigerian-American professor Farouk Kapirogi revealed that late former President Muhammadu Buhari and Aisha Buhari had divorced years before his death, fueling long-standing claims by Nnamdi Kanu that Buhari had died in 2017 and was replaced by a body double. A professor and supporter of the United States of Biafra calculated that Simon Ekpa has now spent 8 months in custody at the Kilmakoski Correctional Center, possibly facing 1 full year if no release is granted soon. The United States of Biafra has officially opened an online portal for applications for identification and international travel documents, including a USB passport, a symbolic move asserting their sovereignty efforts. However, the protest in Ghana over the installation of an Igbo king by the Nigerian community in Accra has been peacefully resolved. The king clarified he is only a cultural leader of the Igbo community and not a ruler over Ghanaians. A local government in Lagos State has renamed several streets that bore foreign names. While the motive wasn't explicitly stated, it was revealed that Tinubu's son, Seyi Tinubu, is married to Layal Jade Tinubu, who is half Igbo and half Lebanese, bringing unexpected ethnic and cultural connections into Nigeria's political elite. Following a critical article accusing Nnamdi Kanu of brainwashing southeastern Nigerians, IPOB's lawyer publicly threatened legal action, defending Nnamdi Kanu's reputation and reaffirming the movement's legitimacy. The story currently gripping both Nigeria and Finland, and increasingly echoing through global corridors of human rights, concerns the complex, high-stakes legal struggles of two of the most recognized names associated with the Biafran movement for self-determination, Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Njoku Ekpa. Their names have come to symbolize resistance, agitation, and the call for the rebirth of a sovereign Biafran state in southeastern Nigeria. In the latest development, we are presented with new legal twists from two different countries, but connected by a common ideological thread. The first problem that clearly emerges in this story is the introduction of a fresh legal charge against Simon Njoku Ekpa in the Pihajoki District Court in Finland. This charge accuses Simon Njoku Ekpa of violating the Lawyers Act, specifically for allegedly acting as a legal advisor without the proper professional qualifications during his time with his ex-wife Marian Sakajavi's law firm. This addition to his existing list of charges marks a critical turning point in his legal battle. For many Biafrans who had followed the case closely, this was not just about another technical violation. It provoked serious emotional reactions because it gave the impression that the legal system in Finland might be stretching every possible interpretation of the law to find new grounds to extend his detention. The problem of Simon Nyoku Ekpa's prolonged detention is now in its 8th month. He has remained in custody at the Kilmakoski Correctional Center without full conviction on any of the original charges. According to supporters and legal observers within the United States of Biafra, there is now a real fear that he could end up spending an entire year in jail if his bail application or final trial outcomes are further delayed. The latest charge appears to prolong that legal entanglement. What caused this situation is a mixture of factors. The growing tension between the Finnish government and Simon Nyoku Ekpa's public political activities, especially his leadership of a movement calling for the independence of southeastern Nigeria, has made him a controversial figure not just in Finland but globally. Simon Nyoku Ekpa has used social media to amplify messages about the United States of Biafra, called for civil disobedience in Nigeria through sit-at-home protests, and aligned himself ideologically with Nnamdi Okwu Kanu's earlier Biafran campaigns. His critics call him divisive and reckless. His supporters call him a freedom fighter and the voice of a suppressed people. In the middle stands the law, trying to determine if his actions have legal consequences under Finnish jurisdiction. This particular charge for violating the Lawyers' Act seems to emerge from his past association with his former wife, Marianne Sakajavi, who reportedly once ran a law firm in Finland. The court now believes that during that time, Simon Nyoku Ekpa may have performed duties that only legally licensed lawyers are allowed to do in Finland. It is not yet clear whether this was a technical oversight, a misinterpretation, or a deliberate offense. But to those advocating for Simon Nyoku Ekpa's release, the charge feels like another move to keep him in custody, especially as many of his supporters believe his prosecution is politically motivated. At the same time, this Finnish legal situation is escalating. Another controversial decision has erupted in Nigeria. The Federal High Court in Abuja, which is currently handling the terrorism and treason case against Nnamdi Okwu Kanu, announced that activist and presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore, along with some members of Nnamdi Okwu Kanu's legal team, were officially barred from attending the July 18, 2025 court session. The reason cited by the court was space constraints, but that explanation has not satisfied most Nigerians, and certainly not the followers of the indigenous people of Biafra or the wider human rights community. The restriction placed on Omoyele Sowore is being seen as more than just a matter of courtroom logistics. To many, it signals an attempt to control who can attend the trial and what kind of media coverage and public scrutiny the proceedings might receive. Omoyele Sowore, known for his outspoken activism and founder of the Sahara Reporters news platform, has consistently attended and reported on the court appearances of Nnamdi Okwu Kanu. His presence, both physical and journalistic, has served as a mirror, reflecting the courtroom activities back to the Nigerian public and to international audiences. By barring him and some of Nnamdi Okwu Kanu's lawyers from attending the July 18th session, the court has inadvertently drawn even more attention to the trial. Many observers believe this is a deliberate move to reduce transparency. It has provoked public anger, especially among those who view Nnamdi Okwu Kanu's trial as a politically motivated attempt to silence a voice of resistance against the Nigerian state. This entire chain of events, Simon Nyoku Ekpa's extended incarceration in Finland, and the court-imposed restrictions on observers in Nigeria, are feeding into a growing narrative among Biafran supporters that the movement is under coordinated international pressure. But that's not all. A revelation by Nigerian-American professor Farouk Kapirogi added even more emotional and political fuel to the ongoing storm. Farouk Kapirogi publicly stated that former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari and Aisha Buhari had long been divorced before the president's official death announcement. This revelation seemed to support an earlier controversial claim made by Nnamdi Okwu Kanu many years ago, that Muhammadu Buhari had died in 2017 and was secretly replaced by a body double, an imposter from Sudan, allegedly named Jubril. At the time, the claim was widely dismissed as a conspiracy theory. However, Farouk Kapirogi's statement appears to give new life to that theory, at least in the eyes of Nnamdi Okwu Kanu's followers, who now believe that many of his warnings about deception at the highest level of the Nigerian government were true all along. This revelation, if proven true, raises severe questions about Nigeria's political transparency and fuels the belief that the Biafran struggle is not merely about secession, but also about exposing national dishonesty and elite manipulation. These developments bring significant emotional reinforcement to the Biafran community. While all this is happening, the United States of Biafra has taken a bold symbolic step forward. An online portal has been launched that allows citizens and supporters to apply for identification and travel documents, including what is being referred to as the United States of Biafra passport. Though not recognized by any nation or official international body at this time, the move carries immense symbolic weight. It is an assertion of sovereignty, identity, and legitimacy by a people who have long felt excluded from full participation in the Nigerian nation-state. Critics may call it performative or legally meaningless, but for the Biafran movement, it is a declaration that they are prepared to function as a separate entity, complete with administrative functions and symbolic representations of statehood. The introduction of such a passport means a lot more than just travel documentation. It means hope, it means belonging, and it means resistance through bureaucracy. A quiet, paper-based revolution against the Nigerian state. Meanwhile, outside Nigeria's borders, another drama quietly unfolded in Ghana. In Accra, the installation of a traditional Igbo king by the Nigerian Igbo community sparked protest among local Ghanaian citizens. The concern among locals was that the newly installed Igbo king might attempt to wield political or territorial influence in Ghana. However, the tension was quickly resolved when the installed leader clarified that he held only a cultural title within the Nigerian Igbo community residing in Ghana, and did not claim authority over Ghanaian land or governance. This calm resolution avoided further ethnic misunderstanding and demonstrated that such cultural symbols, while sensitive, can coexist in multi-ethnic settings when handled diplomatically. Back in Nigeria, a quieter cultural shift was also taking place. A local government in Lagos State decided to rename several streets that had previously borne foreign names. Although the motive behind this renaming exercise was not fully explained by the authorities, many suspect that it forms part of a larger campaign to strengthen local identity and move away from colonial legacies. Interestingly, this move brings public curiosity to a different kind of intersection: the ethnic composition of Nigeria's political elite. It has been revealed that the son of Nigeria's current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose name is Seyi Tinubu, is married to a woman named Layal Jade Tinubu. Layal Jade Tinubu is of mixed heritage, with one parent being Igbo and the other Lebanese. This revelation complicates the frequently simplified narratives of ethnic division in Nigeria. It shows that within elite circles, interethnic and even international marriages are part of Nigeria's evolving social fabric. What does this mean for the Biafran movement? For some, it confirms the idea that ethnicity is not always a barrier at the top, while it remains a weapon of division at the bottom of society. For others, it simply underscores the hypocrisy that often surrounds Nigeria's power structure. In a final twist to this already intense set of events, a recent article that strongly criticized Nnamdi Kanu accused him of brainwashing the people of southeastern Nigeria. This article drew immediate legal response from the legal team of the indigenous people of Biafra. A lead lawyer representing the group publicly threatened to sue the publication and its writers for defamation, defending the reputation of Nnamdi Kanu. The lawyer insisted that the movement is grounded in democratic values, peaceful self-determination, and the protection of cultural identity. This legal defense marks a shift in how the indigenous people of Biafra is choosing to respond to criticism. Rather than resorting only to protests or public statements, they are now engaging through legal channels, challenging misinformation through the courts, and pushing for recognition in diplomatic ways. This approach adds a layer of legitimacy to the movement and helps reposition it in the global arena as more than just a group of angry secessionists. It portrays them as citizens demanding to be heard within the framework of law and reason. In summary, the Karyoku Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu is a powerful reminder that the struggle for Biafra is not only a political or ideological movement, it is a deeply legal, emotional, social, and even spiritual process. From online passport portals to legal threats against defamation.
Magam, you don't see them with your eyes. Hey, nah. Make use of the comment section. Yes. What is your thought over this? Yes. Your contribution is highly needed over this issue. Make use of the comment section and make this video go viral. Like I said before,